Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining me today for another soccer interview. 1 week into the season, and we're rolling right along. Today, I have Barnegat senior midfielder Izzy Guiro. Izzy, thank you for joining me.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Start off. Uh, how do you think the team looks to start the season? I know a little rough start, but how do you think the team's looking?
Yeah, it's definitely been a rough start for us, but I think we're working on everything during practice and things are getting better each day, each game we play. So I definitely think there's still a lot of improvements to make, but we're slowly making them. So
It's a long season, and to me, it's better to play better at the end if you're
yeah.
going to go on a streak. So. How old were you when you started playing soccer?
When I started playing soccer, I was probably 7 years old.
7. And you play basketball as well.
Yes, I do. I started playing probably around fourth, fifth grade.
And for the high school, you play lacrosse too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
How three-sport athlete, very rare you find those these days. When did you start playing lacrosse?
I actually started my freshman year. Yeah.
Okay, so you just picked up the wanted to do something in the spring.
Yeah, there were a lot of soccer teammates that also played lacrosse that convinced me to play as well.
When you were younger, did you do any other sports?
I played softball for a very short period of time, but
Too,
it was always just like soccer and basketball.
softball doesn't usually fit in with soccer players. Too slow.
Yeah.
Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have an older brother and a younger sister.
Do they any sports? Play any sports?
Yeah, my brother, he used to play soccer. He was the goalie. And my sister plays the same sports as me, so she's soccer, basketball, and lacrosse.
Are you three really competitive with each other?
Yeah, very competitive, very aggressive.
So growing up must have been fun in the backyard.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you try helping your younger sister?
Yeah, we're in the backyard a lot. Whenever I go to like the turf or like whatever, I'm always trying to like get her to come outside with me, just so we can. As I get better, she gets better. So
What if I know spoke to dad a few times over the past 2 seasons. What has your parents meant to you in your development?
my parents mean like everything to me in my development. They've always had my back. They've always supported me. They're always encouraging me.
Um, you said your dad work overnights, and I know he's at a lot of your games. I've seen him there a few times, which is always good when the parents are able to get to the games because I know it's hard these
Yeah.
days. Both parents are always working, and so it's good when they get to the games. Growing up, who was a role model for you?
Um, for as a for soccer, I would say like if I were to pick like a professional, it would be Mia Hamm and Alex
Okay.
Morgan. I actually picked my number 9 for Mia Hamm when I was younger. Um, family wise, it would probably be my nanny. She was always just like encouraging me to do my best in school and sports, and she just always had my back and supported me. So
Great. And Mia Hamm, usually I don't hear players say Mia Hamm these days because that's my generation right there. So
yeah, yeah, she was
um,
my favorite when I was growing up.
she was something, watching again, me getting to watch her play when I was growing up. So you said you started playing soccer around 7. Do you remember who your first coach was?
For recreational, I can't remember, but I was coached by my best friend Peyton Mira's dad, and then also my dad, and my current one of my current high school coaches, Coach Pia McCoy.
Uh, what club team do you play for?
Currently, I play for PDA.
Oh, PDA. Shore South.
Sure.
Sure. Who's your Lou or Brian?
Brian.
Brian. Okay.
Yeah.
How have they helped you in your development?
Well, I recently just came to PDA.
Yeah.
So my first season here was just like last year, and we actually had Ashley Thomas as our coach.
Okay.
So I haven't been actually coached by Brian yet, but I'm really
Okay.
looking forward because all I've heard are good things. And then I've also played against Brick Township, so I've seen
Okay.
him, the girls
Okay.
there.
Yeah, he's good guy. And Ashley, I think she coaching down south now, right? I think she's coaching down south.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember the club name, but she did move clubs, I believe.
Yeah. She used to do. My niece does all the PDA clinics and stuff. She used to do the little kids clinics and stuff. She's pretty good. What club were you on before PDA?
Um, I mean, I've been on a few clubs after I went and played in Barnegat for Alliance and like my dad and my friend's dad. I moved to SJA and it was based out of Berkeley. Then I was at Cedar Stars in Tin Fall.
Moving. Did you ever do like AAU basketball?
No, I never did. I did like Barnegat travel basketball, but I never did anything above that. And I didn't really do that for a long time either.
It's tough when you're playing, at soccer at such a high level to do AAU, or if you're playing AAU at such a high level to do, the soccer at the high level too. Now, entering Barnegat when you were incoming freshman, what are some goals you set for yourself that you wanted to achieve over your 4 years?
Um, Obviously as a freshman, I wanted to play varsity and I was able to do that. I was able to get a starting position as well. So that was probably like my main goal going in. And obviously just like score goals, win games, and just have like an impact on the field.
Now, your freshman year, you end up having 11 goals. That's a pretty good stat, coming in as a freshman. What did it mean, starting your career, having such a good season?
It was definitely like really cool as a freshman to come in and like have that big of an impact on the team and on the games that we played. Um, Once I first started, he had me at forward, and then I was moved back to midfield just because we needed a midfielder, and like I also have experience there, so the scoring kind of slowed down, but I was still having a big impact on the field, and that's all that really mattered to me.
Yep. Freshman year could be tough for incoming freshmen. Any upperclassmen that helped you or, guided you along the way?
Ashley Walters, she was a big help for me. She was for soccer and lacrosse. She was one of the girls that like fully convinced me to play lacrosse. She just was very friendly to me, and she like helped me a lot. So
What position do you play for lacrosse?
I'm defense.
Defense? Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a big adjustment, from soccer to lacrosse?
Um, it was it was definitely like a weird change, I guess, just because I've never played before, and like I never thought I'd be like the type of person to like play with like a stick in my hand or something like that. So it was definitely a lot different to learn all the rules. Like there's so many rules to lacrosse, but I really love the game. So
I had never been to a lacrosse match, but I heard it stops a lot, or the whistle blows a lot.
yeah, it definitely does. It's starting to like the stoppage is starting to like slow down just because when like they do blow the whistle, you're able to just like pick up where you left off and
And just
like yeah.
start real quick.
Mhm.
Okay. Moving to your sophomore year, what accomplishments did you have on the soccer field?
Sophomore year was kind of rough for me.
Any accomplishments you had?
So yeah, I did go into at the end of the lacrosse season, I fractured my growth plate in my ankle.
Hmm.
So yeah, I was still kind of recovering from that in the beginning. And then halfway through the season, I winded up hurting my ankle again. So we started off good. We were winning games and we were 8-1, I believe. And then um after after like I hurt my ankle, it just kind of like I wasn't able to play the rest of the season. So
What you have to do, like physical therapy and stuff to get?
yeah, I went through physical therapy for the fractured growth plate, and then I'm not even sure what it was the second time, but I had to go through physical therapy again for that.
Yeah, it's tough. A lot of injuries this year to start.
Yeah,
A lot of teams.
yeah,
Were you able to do basketball your sophomore year?
yeah. Yeah, I was
Okay.
able to recover in time for basketball.
Okay. Uh, did varsity? Did you play varsity your sophomore year?
Yeah, yeah, I started playing varsity more sophomore year because
Mhm.
we didn't have any seniors and we only had two juniors at the time. So I was starting by sophomore year.
That's good. Getting the young kids varsity experience.
Yeah.
So, lacrosse. How did you feel? I know you just started playing lacrosse the year before, but when the season got canceled because of COVID.
Yeah. We were coming off of like a really good season the
Mhm.
year before. We lost in our last game, and that kind of took away the B South champion like title away from us.
Mhm.
So we were expecting to like really do good my sophomore year. So I was really excited, and I was like, she said that I was going to be getting more playing time, so I was really excited about that. We were actually down in Florida when we heard that like the school was shutting down. So we like came back and the school was just shut down. Everything was, and then soon we found out that lacrosse the season was canceled.
How did you find that adjustment as far as school itself? One day being in the classroom, the next day you're virtually learning.
Yeah, I I can't say I was a fan of virtual learning. It was definitely hard, but got to do what you got to do, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. It'll give you an advantage, when you go to college next year. Learning time management and stuff like that. I don't know how Barnegat ran. Um, were you like virtual classroom all day, or was it something they emailed you stuff in the morning and you had to complete it?
um, it was like it kind of depended on what class, I
Okay.
guess. Because we did the hybrid schedule, and like during that, like they weren't supposed to be having live streams, so they would just like send out worksheets, and it was like kind of like your like homework day, I guess you could say. And then we got into a couple weeks where we had to like shut down and go in like a 2 week quarantine, so then we were all virtual. But then I think it was like halfway through the year you could decide if you wanted to stay virtual or go.
So into school.
Yeah.
Did you think your junior year soccer season was going to happen?
um Junior year, I was a little I was optimistic. I was obviously nervous just because we were just getting out of COVID and everything. But I was definitely optimistic, and I think everybody was trying their hardest to have a season. Like I know my team especially, we were being very careful with like wearing masks and social distancing, so just trying not to get shut down.
Yeah, I give you players a lot of credit doing what you had to do to make sure the season kept going, and to being teen, it's got to be tough staying in your house all day until. So, what was something you want to improve on from your sophomore year?
um I think going into junior year, I just want to do just keep working hard and just kind of be able to work as a team and just win those games that we had to and just work hard and score goals, just keep pushing the teammates.
Now the team, you girls had a great start to the season. What do you attribute to the starting off? I think you might have even cracked the top 10 in the APP
Yeah.
at one point early in the season.
Yeah, we definitely started off good. We we were winning a bunch of games. We were winning games that like on paper we were not supposed to be winning, and it was definitely a confidence booster for all the girls and like the team. Um as like then we got to our Lacey game, and we knew that they were like a very competitive team. It was going to be a really good game. Um we went into the first game, very back and forth game. We won 4-3,
Mhm.
and everybody was ecstatic over that. And then going into the second game, obviously we lost like 2-1, I believe. And after that we kind of just it was definitely upsetting, and we definitely knew that Lacey wasn't going to be losing many games after that. So
Yeah, that I was at the second game. I think they got like a penalty. So, did your team get the PK at the end of the first half, or was it Lacey?
I think it was us.
Yeah, I think that tied it, right? Didn't that tie
Yeah,
it?
it was tied
Yeah.
1-1.
Yeah, that was, I didn't see the first game, but I was told it was very similar pretty
Yeah.
back and forth game. Um, do you think your division gets overlooked? Because there's quality teams in your division with especially last season. Pinelands, Jackson Liberty, Point Borough, Donovan Catholic, obviously Lacey. Do you think your division gets overlooked a little bit?
I definitely think there's a lot of talent in our division that definitely does get overlooked. Um, because I know I play with a lot of the girls that play in these teams,
Mhm.
and I know the talent that they do have, and all the girls like we play a bunch. We play really good teams and really good games. But at the same time, the teams up north are extra, like they have a lot of talent and a lot of good girls. So
What is something that you were, you learned playing with Jillian? To me, she's such a good player, and I thought she should have been on one of the all shore teams, the APP all shore teams last season. What are
yeah,
some of the things you learned playing with her?
Jill was a very competitive player, and she always gave like 150% into everything she did. So it was awesome, like watching her put everything into all the games and practices, and we worked really well together. And I definitely miss having her on the field with me.
We'll touch basketball real quick. Did you think basketball was going to happen with it being indoors?
That was definitely a factor that kind of made me nervous, just because it being an indoor sport, I didn't think there was as good of a chance of it happening. But I was obviously very happy that it did.
Excuse me. Were you a fan the way the shore conference did the postseason for basketball?
I did like how they did it, just because we were playing teams that were kind of like at the same skill level as us. So
Yeah, and I know everyone got some postseason play where, short conference, it's only teams 500 or better. And some of those teams probably really don't belong to play. You end up playing St. John Vianney in the first or second round and, lose by 60.
yeah.
So I was a fan too, the way it broke it down. It gives everybody a chance to say that, they had a chance to win, a postseason title. And it gets a couple more games ready for states, so. Uh, what was some? Sorry, I'm going through my notes here. Lacrosse, the lacrosse season. It was the first full season in a year that any sport had. What were some accomplishments you had? In lacrosse or the team had the last season?
Last season we actually won B South, so we were B South champions, and it was it was kind of like a long time coming for us. I think just because my freshman year we were so close, and then my sophomore year like we were very like expecting to win B South, and this year we finally got it. So
Did does Barnegat have like a youth lacrosse
yeah, my
program?
sister plays for it. Yeah,
Okay. So that's, lacrosse didn't exist. Well, I mean, it was a sport, but it didn't exist in high school when I was in high school. So, but you could see, you always hear about the Rumsons and Manasquans always being very good at lacrosse. So it's nice to see other schools, and that's how schools get better is with the youth programs, in the individual towns. You just this year, your final year at Barnegat for soccer. What are some goals you have for yourself?
going into this year, I had a goal of like getting to 100 points.
Mhm.
Um, but we have kind of started off a little slow, so I'm not sure if it's really going to happen, which is fine. But um, other goals, I just want to enjoy the season, the rest of the time that I have with these girls, because I've been playing with them for so long. So I just want to enjoy the last couple of games I have with them.
Yeah. Nothing beats the bond you have with your high school teammates.
Yeah.
What are some things you hope to pass down to the underclassmen?
Um, for all sports, I kind of just want to like pass down to like just have fun, like and like enjoy your time, because like not everybody goes on to like play in college, or like after high school you kind of all like go your separate ways, but just
Mhm.
enjoy your time, like keep working hard, put yourself into everything that you do.
That's good advice. Um, you up for some rapid fire questions?
Yes.
Okay. What's your favorite color?
Favorite color, lime green as of right now.
Lime green. Favorite TV show?
Vampire Diaries.
Favorite movie?
Movie, 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's from my youth.
I like the 80s movies, I do.
That's good. Yeah. Um, favorite team?
Favorite team, obviously the women's national team. If I were to pick a different one, it'd probably be Barcelona.
Okay. Think did they play today? I think they played today, or did they play yesterday?
I'm not
Uh,
sure.
the championship league started yesterday. Um, favorite music? It could be band or genre.
My favorite artist is Giveon.
Okay. Favorite school subject?
Math.
Math. Okay. Something you enjoyed doing in your free time.
In my free time, I'm a big like movie person. I like watching a lot of movies.
Okay. I had one more, but I'm drawing a blank. So I gotta write this down. What are you looking at in like colleges, like location, side? Does that stuff matter, or like you looking at a certain area,
Um, First, I make sure that the school has like the major that I'm like thinking of right now. So
which is
right now it's environmental engineering. Kind of
okay.
want to do something like environmentally. So
Okay.
yeah.
That's you just answered my next two questions, so that's good. What made you get into, that kind of stuff?
I've always been like a big like environment, like save the environment kind of activist. So because I see where it's going and I kind of want to help like
Okay.
pull it back in. So
I give you kids a lot, I see a lot more kids getting involved, whether it's the politics side or, which is great, voicing, your opinions because, it's going to be your future. So I just watched an interesting video on YouTube with about the extinction of dinosaurs and the meteor that hit. It was 10-minute video. It was pretty interesting um, about how everything, the process, how everything died and then came back. The process, everything coming back was even more fascinating than, obviously, you know, the, the fire and the tsunamis and then the cold. So, but it was pretty interesting. Last question. What advice would you give your younger self?
um I'd probably just tell myself to just work hard in everything that you do, like give your all, don't hold back, but don't like make time for yourself and don't just focus on everything that's sports and school and work. Just make time for yourself and but put everything into what you do.
Excellent. Good advice. Izzy, thank you for joining me tonight. Who do you have? Will you guys play? You girls play tomorrow?
Yeah, we played Manchester.
Manchester should be a victory. I hate to say that. I got friends from Manchester, but it should be a victory. So, but I wish you and the team luck this season, and I'll definitely I'll get to one game, at least one game of yours. I caught a couple last season, so
Yeah.
um, uh, I try to hit every school, and especially schools that don't get the attention from the media. So,
Yeah.
so Izzy, thank you, and good luck this season.
Thank you.